Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have a discussion on the important concept of palmistry, which is the fortune telling part. So guys, like the way I keep on receiving these queries on my channel that why I stopped uploading videos on palmistry, to which I only have one rational explanation. I already have uploaded the whole course material on palmistry on my channel. I have also uploaded lot many case studies as well, but just because the kind of queries I keep on receiving, I might also start uploading on and off content on palmistry as well. So guys, in this video we will try to understand that when we talk about the fortune telling part through palmistry, to what extent you can predict through it, and specifically connected with all the attributes of the palm, what could be the probable area where that specific region in the palm can give you clarity. Like for example, if you have to see any of the concerns of marriage, foreign travel, foreign settlement, at least you should know that okay, where you have to see in the palm, in which form the indication or validation will appear on the palm. So do not be surprised over here if I say this thing, that the transiting planets in astrology in your natal chart bring news of events. Same way, they are like certain arrival of the minute lines on the palm, which also give this validation about the happening of the event. But guys, one thing is for sure, which I want to make it very clear at the beginning of this discussion, that a lot many people keep on asking me on the comment section that when you will teach us about how to make someone's natal chart while looking at the palm. So to which I only have one thing to say. After doing a whole 1 year basic palmistry course at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, after that one advanced 1 year long palmistry course, reading so many books, getting into discussion with other palmists as well who are doing it professionally, it is very difficult. Like see guys, what I teach you over here is on the basis of the scientific calculation. Now definitely if someone is claiming that and that person has got some siddhi, some divine power, then it's a different case altogether, and definitely that can be done. Like there is a goddess Devi Panchanguli, and specifically there are like certain rituals if you perform at the time when moon is transiting over the Hasta Nakshatra and all. So all those things can happen. But when we talk about only from the calculation part, looking at someone's palm and answering this question that okay, your moon sign is this, your Janam Tara is this, your Lagan is this, that is very difficult. There are like those people who claim about doing it, but I still do not know the validity of that, so I will not comment anything over there. Now guys, now we will start our discussion on the science of palmistry. So guys, like the way I always say this thing, a lot of you might not have the idea about the basic difference between which hands to look at, where the validation comes for any imminent event about to happen in your life. So guys, it's very simple. You have to understand the difference between the active hand and the passive hand. So I use my right hand actively for lifting weight, for writing, shaking hands with people, with friends and all. So that means this is my active hand, which will give me validation about that where I'm working right now, the way I'm growing and developing in the life. All those information will first get visible in my active hand. So passive hand just tells about the kind of talents with which you are born and where you are headed in the life, where you are progressing in the life. Those indication always comes from the active hand, and this is the principle which is equally applicable both for males and the females. So for example, if I'm born with a with the initial first half of my life being dedicated, devoted towards alcoholism, towards laziness, not doing much work, but suddenly all the family responsibilities came on my head, and from the past 5-10 years I'm working very hard, very tirelessly. So then in those kind of cases where you have transitioned in a very strong way, the validation will be seen in the form of the difference between the lines in your passive hand, something with which you are born with, and where you are heading. So the difference and the variation will be seen in the active hand. And in those cases where you find rarely any variation in both the hands, that just tells about that your life has not witnessed any major transition as of now. Okay guys, now when we talk about doing the analysis of the hand and the seeing the major events. So like the way we say this thing, that in our astrological chart, ascendant becomes very important. It's the ascendant only which tells about your health, which tells about the major events of your life. Same way guys, in our palm, the first major line is the lifeline. So that will tell about the condition and state of the health. Now guys, this line has got some negative rap attached to it, like people just looking and doing the exact translation of the name given to it. They come to this conclusion, oh, this is the line which is going to tell me about my age, my longevity, which is not completely true. But one thing is for sure, that your standard of life, major events of your life, and the concerns of the health majorly are seen from this line. So like the way guys, whatsoever area you will be looking at in the palm, for the concerns of marriage, marriage line, for the concerns of intellectual capabilities, headline. But at the end of the day, when you will narrow down your analysis for the prediction, you have to see, you have to age the lifeline, and that specific age when what the native is running, the client is running, you have to see what is the state and condition of the lifeline. So that is how you will validate. So it's like a it's the epicenter, focal point of any palm analysis, which is the lifeline. Now guys, after that, when we talk about the headline, what do we see from the headline? So guys, apart from the general attributes attached to the headline, which tells about your mental faculties, which tells about your mental capabilities, and also how your brain function. Is it very creative? Is it very straightforward? And along with that, what sort of connection it is making with the other mounts on the palm. So any of the branches from the headline going towards the mount of Mercury or the little finger can make someone very commercial, very business minded. So when we talk about what sort of validation we see from the headline, so this line becomes very important at a time when you are narrowing down the right set of profession for someone. So for the professional consultation, this line becomes very important. And also like when we talk about the so-called matchmaking, because at a time when I just started my journey on the occult, I was primarily doing the palmistry only. So whenever I used to get any of the consultations for doing the matchmaking and all, so what we do from the Ashtakut Milan in Vedic astrology, I used to do it from the matching the palms. So over there guys, I used to see the headline primarily in both the couple's hand. So for any of the concerns of deciding the right set of career for someone, for doing the matchmaking, and also for judging the mental strength of someone, judging the mental health of someone, this line becomes very important. Like the way guys, we all go through different phases in the life. Like a pressure comes when you are in your high school days, a pressure comes when you are in the midlife. So if someone comes to you for the consultation and all, and there are like lot many times when people come to you and they are just beating around their problems or exaggerating their problems. So looking at the headline will give you this indication that the problem, does the native actually suffering from the problems because he is not being well respected, well dealt by people in his or her life, or native by himself has a low bandwidth, he does not have the capacity to handle pressure or handle stress. So those are the kind of indication which you will get from the headline. And guys, the timing of the headline is also not that difficult. So whatsoever age native will come to you, if the question is about right professional guidance and all, see the offshoot from the headline, see the age of that line. Any case of depression, see it. And for the matchmaking also, this line will give you most and precise information. Now guys, when we talk about the third major line, which is the Heartline. So Heartline becomes very important because Heartline in a way tells about your emotional faculties. Like the way guys, in the older Hindu books of palmistry, this line has been given equivalent importance when it comes down to the checking the state of the health or the age or longevity. Along with the lifeline, Heartline also becomes important. A brain dead person is still not considered as dead till the time the heartbeat is on. So the Heartline primarily is used specifically in the matters of love, romance, relationship. And again guys, this line is equally important. Whether someone who is very material driven, someone who is very much driven towards the religious and spiritual austerities, any of the concerns of the artistic creative endeavors. Trust me, Heartline gives you very beautiful information. I've seen the lines specifically in the hands of some of the greatest artists and all, in their palm. You will see that somehow their sun line is originating somehow from the heart line only. So just that tells about that their receptivity towards an appreciation for the art, appreciation for the aesthetics, design, art and beauty, you will definitely see in a very immaculate form, because the heartline is making connection with the sun line. So I will summarize. Heartline is primarily used for doing analysis of the concerns of the matters of love, relationship, artistic creative endeavors, and along with that concerns of health, age, longevity. All of that can be decoded. Someone's spiritual potential can be gauged or measured from the heartline. Now guys, when we talk about the secondary lines, so in the secondary lines we have to give attention to the most important line, which is the fate line. Now what does fate line tell about? So guys, see, fate line is very important, because what I have read and what I have practically observed is that this is one such line which you cannot afford to have in a bad state. In palmistry, the rule which is used is absence of any line is not bad, but if a line is present and it is afflicted, that becomes the concern. So guys, definitely the origin of the fate line, whether it is originating from inside of your mount of Venus, lifeline, over the lifeline, or is it coming from the mount of moon, or is it coming straight from the palm, is it originating from the mount of Rahu, is it originating from the headline, that will definitely give you this indication about the major support which you will get in your career. Are you going to be self-made? Your family is going to be playing an important role. Are you going to be a wanderer? Are you going to be public's favorite? Will you do something good? So guys, understand this thing. The overall length of the fate line will tell about the consistency, stability or instability of your career. The origin of the fate line, which is generally measured from the bottom of the palm, that will tell you about in the initial stage of your life, in order to stabilize yourself in your line of work, in your career, how is your initial struggle is going to be, who all is going to be coming and supporting you. And guys, at the culmination, judging and seeing this line becomes very important. I have seen, although this line is supposed to be culminating under the mount of Saturn, under the middle finger only, but if you will find any branch from this line going towards the mount of Jupiter, towards the index finger, that is the very first indication that native's career will definitely culminate with prestige, honor, respect. And if you will find any branch or the main fate line only leaning slightly towards the ring finger, that also tells about recognition, high status at the culmination of your career. After that guys, so in short, what does fate line tell about? Definitely fate line is a very important tool to judge someone's professional skills, professional work ethics, stability of the career, and the ultimate eventual heights which the native will achieve. Timing this line is also not that difficult. You can simply use Kiro's 7 principle and you can definitely time the line, and basis that age, when a native has come to you, you're doing an assessment for that person, you can definitely get to know about what exactly is happening, and accordingly you can guide the person. And also guys, roughly, like, you do not have to even go very far. The general rule which many palmists use is that at an age the stage when the fate line cuts the headline while on its path going towards the mount of Saturn, the age like the stage where the fate line cuts the headline is roughly taken as 35 years of age. After that guys, lastly, the Mercury line. So Mercury line, the line going towards the mount of Mercury, is generally seen for the prospects of communication, for the prospects of your health, digestion, liver related concern, generally gets very strongly reflected over here. So like the way you know this thing, that Mercury, if it's strong, What matters most is in which influence it is. Mercury is one such planet where, apart from its individual placement, which influence it is in, that becomes more important. So if a strong Mercury line is found in a hand where the headline is afflicted, there is a ring of Saturn, mount of Saturn is very afflicted with the presence of some negative signs, then definitely the mere presence of this Mercury line can actually give someone strong criminal tendencies as well. So you have to see Mercury line in order to decode prospects of communication, prospects of health, business, acumen and all. And lastly guys, you have to see the sun line. Now sun line becomes very important because this is the line of success. This is the line of recognition. Whatsoever field you will choose in your profession, how high you will go. Do you have this capacity to shine because of your uniqueness, because of your originality in your line of work? That is something which we get to know from the sun line. So what all does sun line tells about? Sun line tells about the prospects of name, fame, recognition. Sun line also tells about your connection with the important, prominent people in the society. And also guys, like remuneration, wealth and all, status and favors from important people is something which we generally see from the sun line. So guys, we are already 16 minutes. Okay, I'll add some more points to this video only, and definitely I'll be doing some more parts as well. So now guys, after seeing little bit idea about the major lines on the palm, now we have to also you have to distinguish and categorize the hand into certain types as well. Now looking at the palm, you have to figure out that, okay, is this person more Jupiterian driven? Like on the like this is the index finger and the puffed region beneath it, that is called as the mount of Jupiter. Now over here, if you will find, for example, ring of Solomon, you will find a teacher's square, you will find a cross. Cross is also considered as good in the mount of Jupiter, which is considered as good for the marriage and all. So if you will find these kind of indications, so that in itself will tell about that yes, this person is strongly Jupiterian driven. Now we know that the age when Jupiter matures, we know the good teaching qualities, good with finance is something which comes naturally to the Jupiterian people. So that is how you can blend all the qualities. Same way guys, if you will see that on the mount of Saturn, see Saturn in any case is a flat mount, so even if it is little protruded, you can give it more points. So if you will find the native has got a very strong middle finger, native also has got a very strong fate line on the palm, and over and above that on the mount of Saturn, you will see that the person has got some important symbols like square is there, like triangle is over there. So that will tell about that native has this capacity to dedicate and devote himself for long hours of research. And along with that, we know that Saturn matures at 36 years of age. Native can actually do something good at that specific age. And you have to see that if native has got a fate line, so it roughly cuts the headline at 35 years of age. What is happening over there? Along with that guys, if you will find that the mount of sun, so this is your ring finger, beneath it the portion is called as the mount of sun. So if you will find that the native has got for example, he has got a star over there, native has got a triangle over there, square over there, and along with that a very prominent sun line. So that will definitely accentuate the qualities of the sun. That is also a very supporting sign. And along with that guys, all the qualities of the mount of Mercury, even if the little finger is comparatively to the usual hands, it is little bit longer, it is little bent, so that is also a very good validation. And along with that guys, so when it comes down to the mount of Mars and the mount of Venus and the moon, so if you will find the fate line originating from the mount of moon, some travel lines, some important offshoot and the branch lines joining the lifeline or the fate line from the mount of moon, it is a very good validation. So native might also gain a lot from the travels as well. If you will find that on the mount of Venus, native has got some important symbols and the region is little bit puffed, protruded, so that will tell about that yes, any of the indication, like the way I mentioned, travel, information of travel comes from the mount of moon. Same way, information of love, romance, relationship comes from the Mount of Venus. What sort of lifestyle you will live, that we also get to know from the Mount of Venus. The kind of vehicles you will drive, the kind of supporting partner or spouse you will get, your love life, the vitality and warmth in your persona, in your personality, how hospitable you are when people come to you. All of that we get to know from the Mount of Venus. And lastly guys, for the Mars to be prominent in someone's palm, you will see that native just next to the lifeline, there is a small parallel sister line known as the Mars line. Native might also have that line, and along with that, the plane of Mars, inner Mars and the outer Mars. Like inner Mars close to the thumb region is the region of the aggression, but the outer Mars just beneath the heart line over here on the side of the palm, that is the region which give information about, you know, your endurance, perseverance, fortitude, how much property you have the capacity to amass. So all that information you get to know from the plane of the Mars. And if Mars is going to be in a prominent state, that in itself tells about that 28th year of your life might indicate some important success. And definitely guys, if you have important symbols like triangle is a symbol in palmistry which is attached with the intellectual talents. So you might also have knowledge of warfare, you might be a teacher in defense school and all. So all of that we can see connecting it with the palmistry. And lastly guys, like the way I was talking about that, if you go to any good palmist, like who is operating, doing it with ethics, with integrity from past so many years, I'm talking more from the point of view of the Indian context. So they are not gonna impress you with decoding your major lines, the shape of your palm and all. They will be just looking at some sort of small minor branch line coming in from the palm, and all the predictions will be made on the basis of those small minute lines. Like for example, he is going to either ask your age or roughly tentatively assuming to be of that specific age category, he will see on the lifeline, on the fate line, what is happening over there. Is it a offshoot or a small originating line is being over there or not? That is the reason a lot many times people have to use the magnifying glass to see the palm lines, and then on the basis of the nature of that line, small branch, the predictions have to be made. So yes guys, this was just a kind of a warm up after staying dormant on the topic of palmistry from past so long. So after this, I will definitely try my level best to continue with my uploads and frequency of uploads on palmistry, and I will definitely try to show you certain reference like palm images as well, and we'll do the decoding right over there on the palm images. So yes guys, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. For furthermore updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, palmistry, numerology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.